It's not like you have to choose. It's not like you make a decision. Oh, okay, I'm just not going to rely on the mind anymore. It's like it hits a wall and it just, yeah. It's just seen. That's why I always keep saying, you have to literally see what is actually happening. And sometimes I talk about that in reference to out there, but more often what I'm talking about is in reference to one's seeming personal experience in relation to your experience with your own mind. You just see what's going on there with your experience of the mind. What is happening? But the problem is we get caught in the content when we're doing it. Try and see it as an envelope. Remember the bubble thing that I've done sometimes? Remember the bubble, the balloon?
No, I haven't heard that one.
Okay.
I don't think. Maybe I have.
It's kind of not really relevant to what we're talking about. I mean, it is, but Alex was touching on it earlier in relation to verbing. And a thought is not a static thing. It's not something that just is frozen. Like you can't. It moves, if you like. It's constantly changing, and Bob used to just refer to thoughts as just a vibration of energy. And that was it. Yeah. But when we go looking at what the mind is doing, how it functions, and what's happening there, we get too close to it, and we kind of can't help but get involved in the content. And then when we're involved in the content, then what we're trying to do, being involved in the content, is then trying to work out, how do I get out of the mind? It's too fucking late. You're already in there. Yeah. So it's not about getting involved in the content of mind. It's seeing literally how it operates. What is it? How does it operate? What is it? What's going on there? Real simple. Really, really.
Somebody.
Go on.
No, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I think somebody said it. I don't know who said it and where I read it. It's when you throw the garbage, when you throw the rubbish, you don't need to go into the rubbish bag and start looking up. Oh, should I throw this away? Should I keep this? Is this still valuable? You just get the bag of rubbish and you dump it. And what we're trying to do is that we're going back inside that bag and sort of sorting out all the rubbish.
Is there a possibility that there's still something of value in this rubbish bag that I've missed or I haven't seen? Yeah, it's a great analogy.
Exactly.
It's great. It's all rubbish. Okay, there's nothing of any value in there. There's not.
Nothing essential. Nothing.
Nothing needed.
You're not in there. You're not in that bag of rubbish. You do not. You're not going to throw yourself out.
Yeah. Well, you can't.
And mind you, and that bag of rubbish is full of non-dual pointers, concepts, teachings about non-duality. It's full of them.
Yeah. Mine certainly was. Oh my God, mine certainly was. I had such a full-on intellectual understanding of this. And, at the end of the day, honestly, it fucked me up. I think you guys have heard me share. Did I share it on with Rick Archer? I can't remember. I was so bright intellectually in regards to what I'd learned re non-duality that I reached such a high level, right? Such a high level that I knew that Terry could do nothing. There's nothing I can do anymore to bring this on. I can't do it. There's no me here to do anything or to execute anything. And more than that, me can't experience enlightenment. Me can't experience being awake. And when it did happen, me disappears anyway. Like, so I just saw the absolute futility of it all intellectually. Yeah. Oh my God. And then here comes the next huge fucking mistake that a lot of us make. Yeah. Me being so bright, right? Fucking, I've fucking got a handle on this, right? Then what I did was went, okay, can't do anything, nothing I can do. All right. Now I'm just going to wait. Seriously. Now I'm just going to wait. Right? Still me here, right? Waiting.
Yeah.
Right?
Still me waiting.
Now, I'm just going to wait. You know, like we think we've got a handle on this intellectually, and we just don't. It's rubbish. Like what the mind can do with this knowledge in relation to non-duality and the non-person and the this and, you know, no time, all of that, you know, no free, what the mind can do with that, it just creates a brand new, empty, green plastic rubbish bag to start fucking filling it up again. And it can take years. It can take years to fill it up until you eventually get to the point where you kind of get smashed. Like, then you got to dump that. But that's a good place to be. But it can be painful getting there. Seemingly. Like all the suffering that I experienced, yeah, all the suffering that I experienced in relation to my own personal backstory didn't happen. It didn't actually happen. The seeming suffering was all mind.
Yeah.
It's all manufactured and made up in there. So what was actually suffering? What was suffering? Nothing was. There wasn't any. That's the big laugh. That's the big, you're fucking kidding. Like, that's the big laugh. You know, we got this life and this backstory and, you know, and that's why you've sometimes, I don't very often say it, but sometimes you'll hear me say, nothing ever actually happened. And that's why I use the dream analogy a lot. When the body's asleep on the couch, yeah, and our dream character arises in the dream, and there's stuff going on in the dream. Yeah, there's nothing going on in there. There's actually nothing happening in there. You know, we think we're seeing mountains and cars and buildings and people are chasing us and wanting to kill us, and we're experiencing whatever, right? None of it's actually happening. Try telling that to the dream character in the dream. You know what I mean? The dream character in the dream wouldn't understand that, because it takes that reality in that dream to be real, because it all looks real. That building looks like a building. That person looks like a person. I'm talking about in the dream when your body's asleep and there's literally dreaming happening. Yeah. It all seems real. Then you wake up and go, oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus. It's the same. We wake up from this supposed me character, and it's the same, well, similar. It's not exactly the same, but it's a similar effect. It's like, oh, it's... How often have we sat around, hours, days, months, years, sometimes, yeah, and had this internal suffering going on, only to realize that whatever I thought was happening didn't actually happen. Didn't happen. It might be, let's say, I don't know, I'm a criminal and I robbed a bank, yeah? And somehow the cops found out that it was me and I'm on the run for the next 4 years. Yeah, and I'm always carrying this internal angst, that they're going to find me, they're going to It's not happening. It's not happening until a cop walks up to you and goes, or doesn't. But inside, there's a big story going on. Yeah, but that's why I often say, do a reality check. Stop, pause, look around. What's actually happening? Oh shit, nothing. Whew. Yeah, it's just a really good check-in to see what's actually going on. And there's two things that are actually going on. Yeah, there's nothing going on here at all. Yeah, and from here you realise there's nothing going on in here either. Actually,
it's like that. It's like that joke I shared on my Facebook page.
Yeah, which one?
It's a graphic. It's a graphic joke, and there's this monkey telling another monkey, "Imagine you're on a boat, and the boat starts sinking, and in the end you end up in the water, and you're surrounded by sharks. What do you do?" And the other monkey says, "Stop imagining."
Because the story starts out with, imagine you're on a boat, right?
Yeah.
I can stop imagining. Yeah. Like it's an internal world that seems to be being lived. Well, it's like we're living in this internal world that's going on. Yeah. And it's all imagined. It's like a world of a dream. When you're on your bed, sound asleep at night.
Yeah.
It really is. Look at what goes on in there.
Well, gosh, it's endlessly creative.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And it so wants to be right. It's like, yeah, no, I'm sure that's going to happen. That, I might be thinking about scenarios to do with different things in your life, and it makes it up and it convinces you it's true. And
yeah. So right there, that's got to be seen. It's not convincing you.
No, I was about to say that. It's convincing. It's convincing.
Yeah, it's just telling a story to itself.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's what it's been seen.
Yeah. And that story that it's telling to itself, let's just call that mind, all right? Yeah. The story that it's telling to itself, you have absolutely no control over it.
Yeah.
What it also throws up in that story is a Donna, a Malcolm. Like, that gets thrown up. That's thrown up in there as well. There's not a Malcolm outside of that storying that's going. Malcolm's in that story. The problem is we're aware of the story, but we take that's aware of the story to be Malcolm or Terry or Donna, and it's not.
Yeah.